be any view resolver and view component. It's because of what? At the rate response body that is applied on what? Every business method, which is technically called endpoint method. Because of this, the generated response will go to what? Client application, consumer application directly through dispatcher servlet without involving any view resolver and view component. Just keep this in mind. Here also controller, also called REST controller, will have business method. They are technically called endpoints. They talk to service DAO, get the results, or they generate the results on their own. These results, nothing but output, will go to dispatch servlet. Dispatch servlet directly sends to consumer application as a response. No question of working with what? View resolver and view component. How does it knows? When you add at the rate REST controller annotation, it's a combination of how many annotation? Two annotation. Controller plus at the rate response body. This response body will be applied on every business method automatically. This response body will be applied on what? Every business method automatically. Come on, guys. When it is applied on what? Every business method automatically. So it understand, oh, this response I should not, I need not to format with the support of what? View resolver and view component. I can send directly to consumer application without involving any support of view resolver and view component. It can be sent directly to consumer application through dispatcher servlet. Okay. This window is open. Let me open the document, required document. Here is what? Paint, guys. File open. What's the batch code? 1103. Here is what? 1103. Tell me. Spring Boot REST. Yeah, session number how much? 3. 1103. Session number 3, guys. Yeah, and our discussion is okay. Look at this document. All the theories, whatever I said so far. No need of view resolver, view component, all this stuff, guys. See this. REST control is control per response body. Makes the endpoint or business method of REST controller class, sending generated output as a response to consumer application directly without using view resolver and view component through what? Dispatcher servlet. The business methods of REST controller are called REST operation, REST methods, etc. Or endpoints or what? End operations. The producer provider application that is developed as a REST controller can interact with what? Service DAO classes if necessary while processing the request and generating the results. All these things, guys, whatever we discussed. Using Spring REST, Spring Boot REST, we can develop only RESTful web services, not the SOAP-based web services. In Spring REST or Spring Boot application, the provider produced server application will be developed as what? REST controller class by linking with a ready-made front controller servlet called what? Dispatcher servlet. This producer application is called REST API Service API development. And every service API and its methods are identified with what? URL plus, request path plus, request mode. These are also called endpoint details are not there. It's based on Spring MVC, Spring Boot MVC flow of execution where view resolver and view components will not be there because the REST controller applied on provider, producer, server application automatically applies what? @response body on all the service operations handler operation method, which makes this method to send generated results directly to whom, guys? Client or consumer application through front controller servlet component. Nothing but dispatcher servlet are not there. Nothing but dispatcher servlet are not there. Yes. Let's see. Flow is 90% same. Only this concept is extra. Number 0. We deployed web application in web server. Spring REST application. Every REST controller class based web application is distributed application. Consumer application can be normal desktop application, web application, IoT application. It can be anything, right? What is this, guys? 0. What is that, guys? 0. We deployed a distributed application in web server or application server. What server, guys? In web server or application server. Are you getting my point there, guys? Super, guys. Tell me number 1. Consumer or client application. Okay. Are in 0, what happens, guys? Pre-instantiation of dispatch servlet takes place. In that process, init method executes. Their IOC container is created. Come on. And this IOC container performs what? Pre-instantiation of singleton scope Spring Bean. Among the beans, injections takes place. All this stuff is there or not there? Among those beans, injection takes place. All this stuff we discussed are not there yet. Okay. Number 1, consumer or client application sends the request. Number 2, dispatcher servlet traps and takes the request. Number 3, handovers the request to whom, guys? Handler mapping. It handovers the request to whom, guys? Handler mapping. Are you getting my point there or not there? Yeah. It looks for endpoint method. It looks for one endpoint method whose request path is what? Matching with incoming request URL path, right? Okay, let us assume one method is found. That method signature, come on. Controller class bean ID is gathered by handler mapping and pass it to dispatcher servlet or not there. Same. Dispatcher servlet submits the bean ID to IOC container, gets the controller class object. On that object, it calls what? Endpoint method. It has got signature, right? And endpoint method executes or not there. This endpoint method, nothing but business method, either directly process the request or process the request by taking the support of what? Service and DAO classes. Either directly process the request or what? Process the request by taking the support of what, guys? Service and DAO classes. Are you getting my point there or not there? Okay. Service and what? DAO classes. Is that clear, my dear? Yeah, now listen, this is very important. Generally, we take return type as what? Response entity object. Okay. This response entity object is combination of two things. One is result, output, plus response headers and status codes and number of things. Response headers related information. Response entity object contains two parts, guys. Results, that becomes response body, and remaining things are what? Response status code, headers, and everything. This response entity object goes to whom, guys? Dispatcher servlet. Dispatcher servlet now takes the responsibility of converting the output of this response entity object as what? JSON content. What content? And the generated, whatever output that is generated as JSON content will go to browser along with the response or not there. And number 12, consumer application takes that JSON response or XML response and will use accordingly whatever it wants to do, it will do it. Clear, guys? Come on, everyone. Once again, 0 deployment. Then pre-instantiation of dispatch servlet, unit method execution, IOC container creation, pre-instantiation of singleton scope Spring Bean, injection among the beans, right? And all of them are kept in what? Internal cache of the IOC container are not there. All of them are kept in what? Internal cache of the IOC container are not there. That is number 0. Number 1, consumer application gives request as a HTTP request. If any inputs are there to carry, that will send in the form of XML or JSON. Number 2, dispatcher servlet traps and takes a request are not there and applies common system services. Number 3, handovers a request to handler mapping are not there. Number 4, uh, Number 4, handler mapping method looks for one endpoint method whose request path is matching with what? Incoming request URL. Whose request path is matching this path, guys, I'm talking about. Same. Number 5, handler mapping component gets that endpoint method signature and controller class bean ID. Number 6, come on. Dispatcher servlet calls what, guys? Number 6, and dispatcher servlet calls what, guys? I want reply from you people, guys. Endpoint method. Dispatcher servlet calls what, my dear? Endpoint method. Dispatcher servlet simply calls what, my dear? Endpoint method. Okay. Okay. Number 7, that endpoint method executes and process the request either directly or by taking the top support of service and DAO classes. Number 8, whatever output generated that will be kept in response entity object, and we can also add response headers and status codes in that. Okay, that response entity object comes to whom, guys? Dispatchers are. Come on, guys. And the dispatcher servlet observes in the response entity object output is there as a simple text object. If it is object, it will be converted automatically to JSON or XML, whatever we take, by default JSON. Okay. Now the converted JSON output or XML output goes to consumer along with HTTP response are not there. So for number 12, come on. Consumer application receives that JSON or XML output and it will be converted as required and will be used as needed and will be used as needed. I think you understood this, guys. Everything is same as MVC flow, only that view resolver and view component difference is there. So I have given that point also here very clearly. What is the difference between Spring MVC, Spring Boot MVC flow and Spring REST, Spring Boot REST flow? Spring MVC, Spring Boot MVC flow contains what? View resolver view component to format the generated results using presentation logic, because the client is always a browser and when it want to display formatted results to end user. HTML pages, na boss. End user as web pages, as the content of web pages. Spring REST, Spring Boot REST flow does not contain what? View resolver view component, because of what? At the rate response body is applied on what? Handler or operation method. The response having results, will go to consumer application directly through dispatcher servlet. Moreover, here client is not browser. Here client is what? Another serious application which is not expecting what? HTML style formatted result. Rather, it is expecting what? Global format result, JSON or XML, to as inputs for its business operation. I think why you resolver is not there, you are got idea. Why? Because your consumer is what? Another application. Another application is not a browser. If it is browser, we need to display web page in a formatted manner. But here consumer is what? Another application, web application, IoT application, maybe Java, maybe non-Java, right? So what is need of sending HTML output for them? No, they are not expecting HTML output. Rather, they are expecting what, guys? Uh, some rough global format. Why global format? Why not Java format? Because consumer need not to be there in Java. Consumer can be there in .NET. Consumer can be there in somewhere else, right? So for that reason, okay. So it always sending output in the form of XML response. JSON or XML response are not there. Fine. Now let us focus on developing our first REST controller, guys. Nothing but REST controller development is nothing but REST API development, nothing but web service API development, also called as API. But you don't use just word API because API word is also represent JDBC API, Servlet API. No. So that's why better to say REST API, or if not possible, REST API, at least web service API. RESTful web service, nothing but provider application of RESTful web service, nothing but REST controller class based application, nothing but REST API, nothing but, okay, what is that? Web service API, all are one and the same. So API development in web service means provider application development, nothing but distributed application. Client is not distributed application. Clients are clients to distribute application. The provider application itself is called as what? Distributed application. Convinced with me, guys? Yeah, class content. Here is what? Spring. Where is this? No, Eclipse only, but I need to open the document related to first application development. Spring Boot REST. Tell me. Session 4. Session 4. Where is this? 1103. Yeah, listen. Spring REST is equal to Spring MVC plus plus. Spring Boot REST is equal to Spring Boot MVC plus plus, right? The service provider, publisher, server application of RESTful web service of Spring REST application will be developed as what? REST controller class or controller plus response body class. REST controller is equal to controller plus response body, na boss? The methods of REST controller are mapped or linked with request mode, request path, params using what? XXX mapping annotation. These methods are called as what? Handler methods are REST operations are endpoint or business methods, right? Or business methods of service provider, server or published application. These methods directly or indirectly gets what? Response body annotation. Due to these methods, directly we can send. Due to these methods can send output results to client or consumer application through what? Front controller servlet without taking the support of what? View components and view resolver. Now let me say one thing, guys. For REST, for web application, who is the client? Browser can send max of how many modes of request? Only two, get and post. But for RESTful web service, nothing but REST API. Who is the client? Client can be a desktop application, IoT application, okay, mobile application, X, Y, Z. There is a lot of types of applications can be used or not there. Multiple types of consumer applications can be used or not there, guys. Okay, guys. Yeah. Yeah, listen. Your consumer is standalone web application XYZ. So that's why they can send not just get and post mode request, total five modes of request. How many? Yeah, that means endpoint methods also can be applied with how many annotations? Five annotation. That means five modes of request they can take and process. Generally, there is a rhythm to follow. Okay, we take get mode methods, get mapping. Okay, get mode method for select operation. Post mode method for insert operation. Put mode methods for what? Update operation, full object modification. Patch mode method for what? Partial update operation. Delete mode methods for what? Delete operation. Okay, to satisfy that, those many annotations they need to give na boss. At the rate get mapping, post mapping, put mapping, delete mapping, patch mapping. Are you getting my point there? There are no annotations for trace head mode methods of request because these modes of request are not practically executable in what REST API. First of all, let me list out all the 7 to 9 request modes that are there. 1 minute. Request modes. Yeah, let me give all the request modes. HTTP request modes or methods. HTTP request modes are what? Methods. Yeah, first one, what is there? Get. Next, head, post, put, delete, patch. Okay, trace, options. Okay, connect. What is there? Connect. Total how many has come, guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, this connect is reserved for future, guys. Right now, no work for it. It is purely reserved for future. Reserved for future. You mean future they may give something on it. Reserved for future, right? Yeah. Are you getting my point there or not there? Okay. Yeah. Next one. Get. Generally, it is used to get the data. So select operations are good now, boss. Head. Head is same as get, guys. But the only headache with the head is the head request related response does not have body. Is it useful for business activities? Our entire output is coming as a response body only. If head request related response does not have body means can I use it for business activities? Is it really useful for any kind of business activities? Am I idea? No, not useful. It's purely useless, right? Yes. That's why it is not useful for business activity. Post. It is to send the data. So sending data generally happens in what? Non-select operation. So that's why they used post for what? Insert operation. Whatever data that comes along with the post mode request, they use generally for what? insert operation in a endpoint that is mapped with @post mapping, right? Put. Okay, this is also carries the data along with the request, but they are using for what? Update operation. Post is used for insert. Now they have used put for what? Update operation. That to full modifications. Delete. Okay, delete for to remove the data, to delete the data, delete operation. Patch. Update only, but partial update operation. Trace. Trace is again for a debugging purpose. When I give request, I got the response. I just want to know which are the things involved, what are the things executed in the request and response generation. It is not for business activity, it is no for debugging purpose, right? That's why it is again useless for business activities. Next one, options. Options is too dramatic, guys. I have one endpoint. By giving request to that endpoint, I want to know which modes of request that endpoint allows. Which modes of request that endpoint allows. Get mode, post mode. It is to determine that the endpoint allows which modes of request. It is not to send the request, not to get the output, only to know which modes of request that endpoint allows. It's like a testing kind of thing, right? Just gathering information. It's like when I've gone to Naresh IT office and gathered the course information. Yes or no, guys? So is it useful for business activity? Once again, which are not useful for business activity? Connect, options, trace, head. Why connect is not useful? Or it is reserved for future. As of now, no functionality. No server, no browser, no consumer is implementing it. That's why it is reserved for future, useless. Options. When I send any options mode request to any endpoint, it will not give the, it will not carry the input, it will not carry the output. It will simply tell, I'll show practically all these things. It will simply tell, you can give get mode request to this endpoint, post mode request to this endpoint. That's it. It is there to determine this endpoint allows which modes of request. Is it useful for business activity? Using which we cannot carry input, we cannot get output. Without input and output, is there any business activity, guys? Next one, trace. I given request, sometimes success comes, sometimes error will come. I want to debug why error came, why success came, which are the things involved, which are not involved. Police people will trace the mystery of murder or not there. So they will go event by event, event by event. First this, next this, next this. You might have forgotten what you have done on that day. They will tell morning 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. what you have done. They will maintain the trace. Yes or no? Na? Okay, that kind of tracing. Okay, then why heads are? Head is same as get. Get request mode response will have a body. In the body, output can be there. Head request mode response does not have body. When no body, no out. When no body, no out. No output means that is designed like that. Then why it is designed, sir? It is designed for a testing purpose to check whether that component is there or not there. I think nowadays, I don't know whether you are doing or not. Okay, earlier days, when land phones are there, I think when cell phones are there, to check someone is sleeping or not, we just give one missed call. Yes, na boss. We just give what? Missed call. Yes, especially between Sona Sono, this kind of testings will happen or not there. Midnight, 1 o'clock, one missed call. Okay, not engaged. Oh, might be sleeping. Engaged. Next day, fights will happen. Aisa no na. But nowadays, other techniques also came. I heard from this generation students only. They're checking in where? Truecaller. Now they are checking in what? Truecaller. I heard like in Truecaller, it will show status online, offline, other things, right? Okay, yes, sir. English, you also know that. Hmm. Fine, whatever it is, head is not to do anything, only testing, giving message call, giving one ring and cutting the call kind of thing. This is only for testing purpose, right? Okay, I think Adib connected somewhere. Huh? Mr. Adib, you this come to this dunya. I know your dunya is different. Hmm. You have been tested or you tested someone? Both are right. Okay. Fine. Okay, let's come back to the subject. Yeah, shall we start? Response objective contain two parts, guys. One is what? Response content and body. Represent results or output. Response status code 100 to 599. Constants of response status enum can be used or not there. HTTP status dot like and default is what? 200. If nothing is given, default is what? 200. Okay. And sometimes if you want, you can keep response headers also, guys. Response headers. Okay, guys, response headers. Because of response ID that is added on the top of business method. The method become business method of server or provider public application. RESTful web service ready to send output response directly to client or consumer application through front controller servlet. Got it? Yes. Okay, check it out. Legacy style, how we are developing this? Controller and response body both together added. This is the global path. Look at this. Public response entity, string or object or collection, anything you can take. And taking response entity is also optional. But if you take response entity, you have some control on response headers and status code. If you don't take, you will just get output. You don't have any control on what? Response headers and status code. Some method and logic. Anything great? And recent version, everything is same, guys. What is there? Instead of writing controller and response body separately, we are writing what? REST controller. What is that? REST controller. Okay, now listen carefully. This is the magic. What's the recommended recon type of endpoint method? Response entity T. T for generic, na boss. If the T is any class or collection or array or object means class only, right? That will be automatically whatever output that is there in the form of object array collection will be automatically converted into JSON. If you do XML related starters adding XML. No, sir. The T is simple string or primitive data type or wrapper data type. Output goes as it is to consumer without converting into JSON or XML as a plain text. Are you getting my point there, guys? Dispatcher servlet receives the response entity object. Observes. Okay. In the response entity object, output is there in the form of object, collection, array, if there. Any of these three things. It will check XML related starters are added or not added. Not added. Convert those three things related output to what? JSON. Send JSON response to browser. No, XML starter is added. It will convert what? Objects data into XML, sends XML response to consumer application. No, sir. The response entity object is having output in the form of what? String or simple data type or wrapper data type. Okay, it will send that content as it is to consumer as a plain text. As it is to consumer as what? Plain text. Convinced with me, my dear? Come on, everyone. So that means you need not to take the headache of converting object or collection or array into JSON. That decision also it will take care. Or XML, you need not to take care. No need of learning different APIs to convert what? Object data into XML, object data into JSON. Dispatcher Servlet is having that mechanism as an ecosystem. Ecosystem means already there. Is it not an interesting aspect, my dear? Come on. What Chota villain? Okay. The written type of business method in server or provider or publisher application. REST controller class or control plus response is response entity T, where T represents what? Generic type. If T is a string, then response content or body or output result goes to client or consumer application as what? Plain text. Simply literally as what? Plain text. If the T is what? Object or collection or array, the response content or body or output results will be converted into what? JSON key values and will be given to whom? Dispatcher servlet. That is what? Front controller. Note. To convert into XML content, we need to add what? Special APIs or libraries to class path. Special APIs are libraries to what? Class path. By default, T content will be converted into what? JSON content keys and values, because JSON API comes automatically to the project once we add Spring MVC starter. There is no separate Spring REST starter. Spring Web Starter itself acts as what? MVC starter and REST starter. MVC starter and REST starter. Are you getting my point there, guys? Everyone convinced with me or not there, guys? Okay. So entire magic is there in response entity Tina, boss. Okay, first application we try to get the plain text only. Later we go for objects and other stuff, right? Okay, is it compulsory you should take a response entity as a written type? No. If you take directly string content goes to consumer application. Directly wrapper type goes to what? A consumer. If you take object, dispatcher servlet still converts object data into JSON or XML sends. Then what's the advantage of taking response entity T, guys? Very simple. We will get some control on setting response headers and response status code. Why? What is the advantage of it? What's the advantage? And I want to set status code as 200 or 201. I can get some control on it or not. If some problem came, I want to send error output having 404 status code, right? I get some control on status codes or not there. Similarly, I want to send, I want to set my own type, my own response content type. I can get control on response content type header or not there. There is a content type. All these headers are there. I want to set my own date as the date header, I can say. I can get control on headers are not there. I can give auto refresh. I can enable auto refresh. Who knows? There is a refresh header. Come on. Using that, I can give auto refresh facility to consumer application or not. Whether consumer sending request or not, for every 5 minutes, automatically endpoint execute, generated output goes to consumer. Headers are there to give additional instruction to browser or consumer towards receiving the output and using the output. Status code tells what is the status of the response generation. Is it error response or success response or redirected response? We can send those 100 to 599 response status codes are not there. It is not mandatory to take response entity in the return type, but if you take along with the output, you also get control on what? Response headers and what? Response status code. Are you getting my point there, guys? Response headers and response status codes. Okay, guys. Is that clear, my dear? I want reply, my dear. Okay. When we use Ajax call, that time we need to take response body. Not compulsory, Babu. Audio was not coming. Now, am I audible, guys? Ajat Kumar, in MVC level, In MVC level, okay, you want to process the output through ASACs, then we have to go for response body. But in REST controller, that's a default one. That's a natural and default one. Okay, fine. Shall we develop our first REST controller? Okay. And yesterday I met this guy, this Ajad Kumar. His original name is Sagar Boy, Mr. Sagar Boy, and is acting with fake name. I asked her, why are acting with fake name? Some of my classmates also attending similar batches, sir. That's why. My company fellows also attending batches. That's why I changed it with a different name. Okay. Such a shameless guy. I'll tell. Okay. I asked him, why are you so naughty in the classroom? How you are managing your company work and other thing. Nothing is there, sir. Very less work from home. Okay, then why are you disturbing the flow of the class? He said, whenever I feel bored, okay, I will, I will, I will say one or other thing to class, then you will scold me. And by seeing that scolding, I will become alert. Okay, such a naughty fellow. Fine, such a naughty fellow. And interesting part is, his younger brother got job first and he got job later. I asked why. When he was learning Java, he is playing PUBG. Later, once his younger brother got job, then I might he might have felt little shame, and then he started learning Java. He's already working guy. He's like came for upgradation, it seems. So, okay. Others also getting refresh. Mm. Others also getting refresh. One day I will remove from the meeting. Muddy fella. It's a nice guy, but muddy fella. Okay, just for security changes. Yes, guys. Let's come back. Hmm. New. Where is this? Spring Starter project. Spring Starter project. Tell me. Boot MVC. Boot REST. It's a new series, na? Boot REST Pros 01. Okay. First REST API. What API? First REST API. That's good. Yeah, you can take varchar anything, guys. If it is jar, we can run this REST API only in embedded Tomcat server or embedded server. If it is var, I can run this REST API in embedded server and what? External server. In both places, I can run it. Guys, I'm warning you, last two modules are very important and you people are missing the classes. Okay, anyhow, let me give the plan of this weekend. Not weekend, tomorrow and after tomorrow. Tomorrow and after tomorrow, you don't have 11 o'clock session. Small disturbance, okay, adjustment is required. RESTful web service will continue from Thursday onwards, okay. Spring Data MongoDB is pending, na? Pending. Only two sessions are completed. Revise by tomorrow. Okay, once again revise it. We'll complete Spring Data MongoDB. Okay, next in two sessions. Okay, Tuesday 7 p.m. Wednesday 7 p.m. In both 7 p.m. you will be completing. Okay, what is this? Spring Data MongoDB. Spring Data MongoDB. 11 o'clock sessions are not there. Okay. Thursday onwards, regular REST API will continue. Saturday, Sunday, again, I will take one or other common topic and we will discuss that. Did I complete interacting with multiple database for you? Completed, fine. But there are a lot of other topics are there. We will learn one by one. Don't worry. Okay, na? All right. Yeah, Spring Batch is there. I'm just waiting for them to complete what? Spring Data JPA. Once I give the knowledge of Spring Data JPA for them, I can take a lot of common topics. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, say next. Today evening not there. Tomorrow evening 7 p.m. What he is asking, you decide. Huh? Mr. Adib, come to India. Yeah, DevSecApp is there. As usually, DevSecApp is there. Yeah, that's good, guys. Tell me now here, where is this? Spring Data JPA, not required. And safe side will take Lambda KPA. That is also optional, guys. And for getting the changes automatically, better to take what? David. Say next, say finish. Boot rest. Boot rest pros 1. Where is that? Last one, huh? Where is that? This one, huh? Yeah, boot rest pros 1. First of all, I go to this place. Application.properties. That's fine. Embedded server port number na, my dear. Embedded server port number. Yeah. Server.port. Any number I can take. 4041. Yeah. Yeah, tell me. Do I need to add view resolver configuration here? Tell me. Adding view resolver is required or not required? Why not required? No need of view resolver, right? Okay. Do I need to add Tomcat embedded Jasper starter to the project? Why? No JSPs at all. No views means no JSPs indirectly, right? Do I need to add theme leaf engine? All these are related to view, right? Always remember, distributed application means PayPal. PayPal client is Flipkart. Flipkart expects what? HTML output from PayPal or global output? Global format output, XML or JSON. So when you want to format the results, view is there in the picture. When you want to get raw results in global format, what is need of view and view resolver? Without view, no need of view resolver, right? That's why no theme leaf engine, no JSP, Tomcat embedded Jasper, no view resolver configuration. What about giving context path for a web application? Optional, but if you want, you can give. Context path of REST API. Server dot servlet dot context hyphen path. Server dot servlet dot context hyphen path. Yeah, tell me. REST API 01. Something, guys. You don't like? Don't take something else. Okay, now I'm going to this place. I'm taking a package. New package. com.nt.rest. I'll take the package name as what? REST. I'll definitely try to take the package name as what? REST. Now, right click, new, what is there? Class. Right click, new class. Tell me here, where is this? Season finder REST API. Season finder REST API operation. Some name, guys. Season finder REST API operations. Okay. I will put @REST controller. Okay. @REST controller. Controller and response body. Both are there or not there? Super. Next. Next one. @request path. Request mapping. I'm taking global path as what? Season API. Yeah. Public response entity. Response entity string. Show season name. Hey, right now, simple one, guys. Okay. Next. @get mapping slash. Okay, something display. You don't like something, you can go for other thing. Display. No. Sys trace. Done. Hmm. Find season name. String. What is there? Season is equal to null. String season is equal to null. Okay, that's good. If. Okay, fine. Local date. LD is equal to local date dot now. Local date dot now. Yeah. Yeah, tell me, boss. Local date LD is equal to local date dot now. Are you comfortable, my dear? Come on. Yeah, tell me. Yeah. Current month, guys. Int month is equal to LD dot get month value. LD dot get month value. Tell me. If month, if month, what is there? Greater than or equal to 7. And tell me. Month less than or equal to, okay, 10. 10 is enough, guys. Tell me. Let me put season is equal to, what is equal to? Rainy season. Rainy season. Else. Okay. Hmm. See, in Hyderabad or any other place in India, if rain comes, the world stops, right? But go to such places of Pune, Matheran, Raigad. I found people living life in rain only. They accepted and they are surviving rain because they're almost in these 4 months. I heard almost 16 hours to 18 hours rain will happen. So that's why they don't stop their lifestyle because rain is coming. Because I was there in that place for 2 3 days. Almost every day it's raining. 19 20 hours is raining, and we did entire touring in what rain only. And people also accepted it. They are not feeling, oh, today raining, let's wait for something, because next 4 months are like that for them. Then I started thinking, if these people are like this, what about Cherrapunji people? You know Cherrapunji specialty? All 365 days rain will happen for them. How sun will come every day, for them rain will come every day. In Singapore also same problem. When Singaporean goes out, okay, along with mobile, okay, handbag and backpack, he also carries one umbrella because when rain comes, they really don't know. Fine, okay. Else if month greater than or equal to 3 and month less than or equal to 6. Season, what is there? Winter season or summer season? Summers. Else, what is there? What is season? Inter season. Simply what season, guys? Inter season. Write output to consumer. Write output to consumer application. What application, guys? Write output to consumer application. Tell me. Return new response entity. Return new response entity. Tell me, what is their season? Here is my word. HTTP status dot. What dot, guys? HTTP status dot. Okay. If you only can put headers also. Right now, I'm not putting, guys. Default headers are taken. If you don't give status also, default. This is body. In HTTP response, this variable becomes what? Body. And this becomes status code. What about headers, sir? Structure is coming headers, body, blank line, right? Body is decided. That's good. What about headers? Default headers. If you don't give default headers, content type by default, everything by default. And we are just continuing control on status code. If you don't give this also, default status code is what? 200. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting the season and this one. In the form of response entity object, I am writing or not there. Okay. Now tell me, this is one REST controller means one distributed application. In one provider application, how many REST controllers will be there? Only one. Because one REST controller means one distributed application. Okay, tell me, in this distributed application or REST API, is having how many endpoints, guys? One endpoint or two endpoints? One endpoint or two endpoint? Only one endpoint. And that endpoint is identified with how many details? Four detail. Base URL, whatever URL is there. Request path display. Come on. Any parameters are there? No. What is the mode of request? Get. All these things together we call as endpoint details or not? Okay. Actually, these endpoint details we have to provide to consumer application. All right. But right now, I am not in a position to write the consumer application on my own, but I want to test it. So for that purpose, since it is expecting get mode request now, boss, I can give that request from where? Okay, guys. It's a just Punekar's thing. What about spring season? Okay, fine. We'll talk about that at the end. Hmm. All right, was tell me what is the point? Summer season, winter season, rainy season. That's fine. Uh, I want to test it. Since it is it's expecting get mode request, I can test from browser. But if a post and post is there, can we test from browser? We can test by taking form, but I don't want to take form, but I want to test post mode request. Is it possible from browser? No. Put, delete. Okay, that's why they have come up with one third party tool for testing, and that is Postman. You might have heard about Postman. Some people already use it, but they don't know why they have used it. I know that. Mahapurush. Ayaram Gayaram type. Okay. I know. Where you use it, some brush up classes happened now. They already might have started working with what? Postman, right? Okay, what's the real purpose of Postman? API is developed, but the person who is developing REST API not interested to test by developing serious consumer application, but he want to test. Or he is not interested to develop consumer application, but he want to test. Come on, guys. Okay, browser you can use, but only get mode we can test properly. But in one REST controller, only get mode endpoints will be there. A lot of modes endpoints will be. But how to test those lot of mode endpoints, guys? By taking the support of what? Post mapping. Postman tool. Only Postman, any other tool is there. Swagger is also there. Swagger is more advanced. We will discuss about Swagger later. But now Swagger is renamed as Open API. Open API. Swagger extension is what? Open API. Swagger 3 is nothing but Open API. Swagger 3 is nothing but Open API. Fine, whatever it is, guys. I think today some screening test is there. Postponed. Why? It is for people who those are not given earlier. Achha, those who are not given on Saturday, for them only. You all people given a result came. What happened? Failed. No one, no one, not even one person. Again, Core Java problem or Spring problem this time? No, no Spring. Only Core Java. Core Java or Spring? Core Java. Why? Very less time, huh? No one qualify in screening test. Don't say no one qualify. Huh? Not difficult. Time is the problem. Acha, acha. Did you taken them to consent popul? Very less time I cannot answer. Okay. Right click. Tell me. Run on what? Server. What application? Yeah, run. We can run both, no? First I'm running on embedded server, guys. Run on server. Say this. This is the problem, guys. Yeah, we have to change the version of the project. Properties, guys. Tell me. Properties. Project facets. Project facet. 6.0 is too advanced. Make it 5.0. Or you can reduce the Java one. Or you can reduce the Java version or this. Anything is fine. Run on server, guys. Yeah, no error. Oh, still not supported. Fine. Okay, then I think Tomcat external Tomcat problem, guys. So I think it's not problem with the dynamic web module. It's a problem with what? Java. Tomcat 11 is not compatible with what? 21. Maybe it's compatible with 17. Another stable version. Let me take it. And I feel happy, right? You are selecting version, everything it is settling down, right? Otherwise, me doing everything is time consuming process or not. Run on server, guys. Tell me. Say next. Remove all. Save finish. Save okay. Yeah. What is the global path? Season API / display. Yeah, definitely output comes, guys. It's not a great thing, right? But today get mode I can test from browser. But other modes are there. Can I test from browser? Not possible. It's better to have a knowledge on Postman, na boss. Let me install Postman. Like any other software, next, finish. Download and install. Don't ask me how to download. You're going to ask me. You can install on your own. I might have installed so many softwares. One more software. Right. Click on Postman. That's the symbol of Postman, guys. Hello, guys. Collections. Yeah, here collection, one collection we take, here terminology of Postman is one collection to test one project. In that one, we can add any number of requests to test any number of endpoints in any number of varieties. Not compulsory for 1.1 variety of request only how to generate. You can generate multiple varieties of requests or not there. Yeah, so many collections are already there for different batches. Okay. I'll take few more collections for your batch also. Plus blank collection only I'm taking. What's the name of the collection? 1103. What is there? 1103. First REST API. First REST. Yeah, it will be created somewhere. Check it out. Yeah, first REST API is created now. Add request. Okay, request one. Request one. Any name you can give. Get mode URL. What's the URL on the browser? Same URL, you paste it. Copy. No. That is for embedded server. Right now I'm running in external server. Adi focus. Okay. 7799 external server port number. Same thing. Okay. Here, where is this? Send. Check it out. Rainy season has come. This is entire response, guys. If this response is having body, 5 headers are by default added, though I have not added any response, guys. Content type, text slash plain, length 12 character, date on which date. Keep alive timeout. It will wait for response for 20 seconds, not coming, it will connection timeout. Connection keep alive. Connection is keep alive based. Okay. So by default, 5 address came automatically or not? No cookies, guys. Body cookie also some kind of header only was. So get mode request related response is having what? Both body and headers are not there. Both head part and body part are not there. So you get response status code is coming here or not there. Okay, now listen. Here I can give other modes of request also. Okay, for get mode, if I give post mode request, what is the error number? 405. 405. 405 is also having body. Headers also there. Come on. So 405 error is coming or not there. Okay, I don't touch useful modes. I will touch that one that is there. Head. Head is not error, my dear. Head is not a error. Body empty. But headers are same, na boss. Body empty. Headers are same or not there. Interesting or not there. Okay, next. I'll try to give options mode request, guys. Body, no body. That's why it is not useful for what? Business activity. But headers 6, one header is extra. In that one, you observe allow. That endpoint says, I allow get mode request. And when get is allowed, head is also allowed. Na? Anyhow, option has to be allowed by every mode of endpoint. Because if without allowing option, how we can give option mode request? So we are just getting list of request mode that endpoint allows to generate the request. But is there any body, guys? Head mode, no body, not useful for business. Next, options mode, no body, not useful for business. Come on. Are you getting my point there? Trace is not given. Postman is not allowing to send trace mode request. Somehow it is not capable of generating trace mode request. Apart from that, remaining all are good now, my dear. Now onwards. Whenever you develop REST API, or distribute application, will you test by using what? Browser, or will you test by using Postman? Postman is really good to test or not that. So you give other than get any useful things, you will get 405 error. So 405 error means what, guys? Delete. Expected mode is not there in the request, then you will get 405. You do mistake in the URL, guys. You give correct mode only, but do mistake in the URL. 123, enter key. 404. See, those popular numbers. URL itself wrong, 404. Mode is wrong, 40. But all these are mistakes done by client. That's why these are called client side errors. 400 to 409. These are what? Client side. One or other mistake done by client only. Na? Typing wrong URL is whose mistake? Your mistake. Giving wrong request mode is whose mistake? Your mistake. That's why client side error. Then if authentication fails, 401. Giving wrong username password is use mistake, your mistake, 401. Okay, authorization failed. Correct username password, but you are not authorized to access that resource. That is your mistake, your mistake. 403. Understanding my statement, boss. 402. Then what is 402, sir? Reserved for future. As of now, no functionality. I know Sumit Sahar is saying, Sahar is talking everything, but he's not talking about 402. Wait, Ra Babu. Sumit Babu. Hmm. 402 status code. Status code. HTTP status code. Array, if you write 402, it may give Indian criminal 402. IPC 402 is there or not there? 420. IPC section 420, right? Payment required, one of the less commonly used codes in HTTP standard. It was originally reserved for future to use related to digital payment system. The idea was that if requested resource required payment like PayPal's or subscription, the server would have responded what 402 to indicate that payment is required before access is guaranteed. Okay, current usage. The code identified but not widely implemented in practice. Many APIs and web services use what? Custom response instead of what? Like 403, 401, along with error message. Some modern APIs like Stripe, PayPal, SaaS platform use 402 required, especially to indicate failed or missing payments. Failed or missing payments. Something they have given or not there. Right, some of them implementing, some of them not implementing. Got it, guys? Come on. Right, okay, that's good. Sir, you said you can get control on status code. Show me, sir. We'll be happy, sir. Stop this. Okay, I don't use this 20, guy. Created 201. What is there? Created, which gives me what? 201. 201. Right click, tell me. Run on server. Tomcat server. Save finish. Yeah, tell me next one. First REST API. No, we can test anywhere, guys. Now let me I think request one only. Right, everything is perfect. Rainy season. Did I modify or directly I'm using? Yeah. Look at this. 201 came na boss. That means we are having some control on response headers. I mean, response status code head part, guys. Okay. Now let me prove this one also. I comment this. I'll take without response entity. I'll try to take without response entity. Directly string. Done. Then return season. Anything else not required. I'm taking return season. Semi. That's great. Right click. Okay, now let me run this application as a standalone application. Right click, run as Java application. Right click, run as Java application. Okay, for testing with embedded server, let me take one more request here. What is there? Request to. Yeah, tell me, what is there? HTTP localhost. What is there? 4041. 4041. Tell me. REST pros 01. No, context path is different, Rabab. Context path I have taken REST API 01. REST API 01. 4041 REST API 01. Next one. What is the global path? Season API. Then, see, what is there? Display. End send. Rainy season has come. 200 OK has come here or not? Rainy season has come. 200 OK has come here or not there? Is that clear, my dear? Come on, everyone. Got the clarity, my dear? So this is about the whole mechanism or not there? What's the problem in? Can I change the status code? Can I set my choice headers? Can I change the default header values? So it's a recommended practice is what? Taking response entity T or non-response entity? Yeah, response entity T is the better return time. I hope you got it. Yeah, now I think, tell me, if you know MVC, is it going to take much time to habituate with REST controllers? RESTful API development, does it take more time, guys? Let me put the document there. It's 11 a.m., guys. Tell me next one. Where is this? Spring Boot REST. File upload. What's the document, guys? 1103. Spring Boot REST. Session 3, Session 4. Session 3 and Session 4. I want everyone to practice immediately. I don't think it will take a lot of time, right? Yeah, first practice with Postman. Very soon I will introduce what? Swagger API. Nothing but Open API. Swagger API also called as what? Open API. Yeah. Swagger API also called as Open API. Yeah, let me show. Yeah, the gathering that I have done with old working students in Pune, right? You know some people. Which one? Greena. Acha, acha. I think he's a lab coordinator. Yeah, he just joined in company in HCL. Yeah, right. And you want to see Vada Pav? He is the Vada Pav. Right. Sagar boy hai na, this fellow. This fellow. Sagar Boye, I think he's not there in this image. He is the fellow. Sagar Boye. And his brother is there. I'll show. I think is there in other photo somewhere. Hmm. Somewhere. Hmm. What is that? What is asking? Who is that girl? Your sister, Bade Behen. Bade Behen. Already she is working, ra. Ah, ah. No, I don't need any secretary. If you are ready, come. No payment. No payment post I will give for you. Yeah, fine. Okay. Our one group pictures are there was where we stand close. I don't know, Babu. Tomorrow evening batch link same or different. Tomorrow, okay. Divya madam, you are from Varisana? Because V has become B means what? Varisa only. Tomorrow evening batch. Common topics link. Common topics link. Right. Okay. Fine. Maybe next month I'm planning to go to Bangalore also. Let's see. Okay. No, next month, September or October, I'm planning to go. You look like a Tamana. Who is the Taman? I don't know. Fine. Whoever appreciating me, please keep in one point. I like biscuit, not the cream biscuits. Okay, na? Right. Thank you. We'll meet tomorrow and we will discuss more on what? Other HTTP request modes.